Next, a real-life Mr. Mom who dedicates his time to raising his kids and helping other at-home dads. Because this man's life was definitely changed. He lost his job, became a full-time Mr. Mom, and has lived to tell about it. How are you, sir?
Good to meet you.
It's
Hi,
not
Peter,
that difficult,
welcome.
is it? Or is it?
See you again.
Is it that hard? I mean, I know, you know, when my wife takes a vacation and I have to do everything, I'm exhausted, and I say, my God, how do you do that on a daily basis?
Yeah. It is difficult. My wife, she works as a school teacher, and before I became an at-home dad, I thought it was easy. I took everything for granted. I came home, the house was clean, the dishes were clean, and I thought, hey, this is no problem. When I became an at-home dad, the dishes started piling up. I didn't notice the dirt on the floor, and one thing I noticed about being an at-home dad is that women have a much higher standard of cleanliness than men do.
Really?
And I won't clean the floor unless there's enough dirt there to support a garden.
Never been to Sissy's house. Okay.
I'm just messy. I'm not dirty. I'm messy, and there's a
If you need me to
difference.
clean your house, I'll be glad to clean
Are you
your
good
house.
at it now, though?
Yeah.
Because you must have had an adjustment period.
Yeah.
And did you start sort of picking your battles? I know I do that as a mother. I pick which things I'm really going to get crazy about.
It was very hard getting adjusted to the new role of an at-home dad because I used to work in the corporate world. When I came home, all of a sudden I had no coworkers. I couldn't take a break, go to the water cooler whenever I wanted. I had my kids there all the time. And it was like I had nobody that didn't wear diapers that I could talk to.
Yeah. That water cooler action, though.
You like that?
Something the guy
I think I'll get a water cooler for my house.
Because the boys are getting big enough. Let's show your newsletter here, because this is
great.
fun. It's the At Home Dad newsletter.
Right.
Now, how big is your subscription now, Peter?
Right now I have 600 subscribers across the country in 45 states. I even got a request from Iraq for a sample.
Did you really?
I don't know if there are any at-home dads out there or not, but the newsletter's been going great. I started it last year in the spring of '94, and I just sent out my 6th issue, and it's done very well for me.
What kind of tips could we get from subscribing?
What I try to do is I try to give out tips that aren't in some of the women's parenting magazines. There are a lot of good parenting magazines out there,
Sure.
but they're not really from a man's point of view, you know what I'm saying? And what these guys want to know are things like, how do I meet up with other at-home dads in town? There are 2 million at-home dads, so they're out there, but men tend to be very isolated. It's like the guy that doesn't stop and ask for directions. It's like he tried to do it by himself, and you can't do it by yourself.
But Peter, don't the women sort of welcome you in their crowd? I would think at the playground. See, I'm the kind of gal who would gravitate to the at-home dad for the male interaction in the middle of the day. Stop looking at me like that.
Yeah, you said gal, you know.
But don't the women welcome you in the fold?
When I go to the playground, at first, women sometimes are a little bit suspicious of you because they say, hey, what is this guy doing here at the playground? And I did an unscientific poll, and there are 12 women for every 1 guy at the playground. So you go there and you're totally outnumbered.
So the ratio's in your favor.
It really is. In our first segment, we talked about masculinity and role models. How do you think your kids will be different as grown-ups being raised by you?
The biggest difference is that he sees that women go to work and stay home. He sees that daddies go to work and stay home.
Right.
Now I have a play group with 3 or 4 guys in it. And he sees the other daddies stay home with their kids.
Right.
So he's going to be less biased and less stereotypical. He's not going to grow up thinking that all women belong in the home.
Right.
Now, he might think now that all men belong in the home. You know, and in a sense, it's our turn. I mean, the women have been going out and doing it.
Sure.
Now they get jobs. They're getting more money.
Absolutely.
They have, you know, TV shows.
Well, Peter, Peter, your boys are obviously very lucky to have you at home and have your wife as well. I'm sure she really, you know, carries her share in the evening. Thanks so much for coming. Continued success. If you want the newsletter, call the office. We can always tell you how to get that kind of thing. Oh, now they're saying 41 to 26.